The Buffalo Bills may have just been handed a potential game-changing opportunity, and it comes from an unlikely source, a division rival. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the New England Patriots are releasing veteran safety Jabril Peppers after 3 seasons with the team. The move comes as somewhat of a surprise considering Peppers was widely expected to start in head coach Mike Vrabel's defense this season. But now, the 28-year-old defensive back immediately becomes a free agent and is available to sign with any team, and the Bills should be paying close attention. For Buffalo, this development couldn't come at a better time. All offseason, the Bills have been searching for an upgrade at safety to play alongside Taylor Rapp. The position has been one of the biggest question marks on the roster, especially after veteran Micah Hyde's departure and the lingering uncertainty around the depth chart. While the team did add Jordan Poyer back on the practice squad, it's unclear how much the 34-year-old has left in the tank after a decline in production last season. The Bills are also relying heavily on Cole Bishop, their 2024 second-round draft pick, to step into a significant role as a rookie. Bishop has flashed potential, but at just 22 years old and coming off a training camp where he missed extended time due to injury, there are plenty of unknowns. Depending on an unproven rookie and an aging veteran is far from an ideal scenario for a team with Super Bowl aspirations. That's where Jabril Peppers comes in. Peppers brings experience, versatility, and leadership, 3 things the Bills' secondary desperately needs. A former first-round pick out of Michigan in 2017, Peppers has 85 career starts and a reputation for being one of the most physical, aggressive safeties in the league when healthy. He can play deep coverage as a free safety but is also comfortable lining up in the box, making him an excellent fit for Buffalo's defensive schemes under head coach Sean McDermott. In fact, Peppers' skill set pairs perfectly with Taylor Rapp. Rapp is a hard-hitting safety who thrives in run support but has struggled in pass coverage at times. Peppers, on the other hand, has excelled in that area. In his last fully healthy season in 2023, Peppers earned an elite Pro Football Focus coverage grade of 83.2, surrendered a completion rate of just 58.8%, and allowed an opposing passer rating of 52.6, elite numbers by any measure. If the Bills were to sign Peppers, the impact would be immediate. His presence would solidify the safety position, provide a mentor for Cole Bishop, and give McDermott far more flexibility with defensive play calling. It would also add depth to a unit that struggled with injuries last season and would relieve some of the pressure currently on Bishop to develop at lightning speed. There's another layer to this story that makes the potential signing even more enticing for Bills fans. Adding Peppers would weaken a division rival. The Patriots' decision to release him already raises questions about their secondary, but if Buffalo swoops in and grabs him, it would be a double victory, strengthening the Bills' defense while hurting one of their AFC East competitors. However, there's one major hurdle the Bills must overcome before this can happen: the salary cap. Buffalo is currently $6.1 million over the cap, meaning General Manager Brandon Beane would need to make some financial moves to create space for Peppers. That said, there's reason for optimism. Given his age, position, and recent history of injuries, Peppers is unlikely to command a massive deal on the open market. This could allow Beane to negotiate a team-friendly contract, making the move realistic even with Buffalo's current cap situation. Signing Peppers wouldn't just be a luxury move, it could be a necessity if the Bills want to keep pace in a loaded AFC. Facing quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and Justin Herbert means Buffalo cannot afford to have holes in the secondary. Elite defenses are built on depth, versatility, and experience, and Peppers checks all those boxes. The Bills' front office now faces a critical decision: stick with the current safety group and hope for rapid development from Cole Bishop, or take an aggressive approach and bring in a proven veteran who can contribute immediately. For a team chasing its first Super Bowl title, there's little room for hesitation. The addition of Jabril Peppers could stabilize the defense, elevate the overall level of play in the secondary, and give Buffalo the kind of reliable presence they've been missing since Micah Hyde's peak years. Now, the question becomes, will Brandon Beane make the move? Bills fans are watching closely, and the pressure is mounting. With training camp battles intensifying and the season fast approaching, Buffalo has a chance to land a high-impact player who fits perfectly into their defensive plans. If they make it happen, Jabril Peppers could be the missing piece that helps propel this team from AFC contender to legitimate Super Bowl favorite. According to Fox Sports, the Buffalo Bills enter the 2025 NFL season as the favorites to win the Super Bowl. For Bills fans, that prediction is both exciting and nerve-wracking. The franchise has a long history of heartbreak on the biggest stage, most famously losing 4 straight Super Bowls in the early 1990s. Now, more than 3 decades later, Buffalo once again finds itself in position to make history, and perhaps, to finally erase the painful memories that have defined the team's past. The optimism surrounding Buffalo centers on Josh Allen, the reigning 2024 NFL MVP, who continues to establish himself as one of the most dominant and electrifying quarterbacks in the league. With his rare combination of size, arm strength, mobility, and leadership, Allen has elevated the Bills into a perennial contender. The team has brought back a full arsenal of offensive weapons, and with Allen leading the charge, the Bills appear more prepared than ever to make a legitimate run at a championship. But the question lingers, both in Buffalo and around the NFL, can Josh Allen finally get the Bills to the Super Bowl and win it? Former Bills legend Thurman Thomas recently weighed in on that very question. Thomas, who starred during Buffalo's 4 straight Super Bowl appearances in the early 1990s, made headlines when he confidently declared that Allen would not only lead the Bills to a Super Bowl, but would eventually win 2 championships with the franchise. The irony of Thomas's prediction is hard to miss. He, after all, was a centerpiece of the greatest era in Bills history, and the most heartbreaking one, as Buffalo lost each of those 4 consecutive Super Bowl appearances. Thomas knows better than anyone that talent alone isn't enough. The team must execute when it matters most. History has shown that even the greatest quarterbacks often need the right supporting cast to reach the mountaintop. John Elway spent much of his career carrying the Denver Broncos to the brink of glory, only to fall short time and again. It wasn't until the Broncos surrounded him with elite talent, including Hall of Fame running back Terrell Davis, that Elway finally broke through, winning back-to-back Super Bowls. The comparison to Josh Allen is clear. Like Elway, Allen is often seen as a one-man army, capable of putting the team on his back and nearly willing them to victory. Buffalo has been close before. They have reached the AFC Championship game, only to be stopped by Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, the current standard of excellence in the conference. Allen has proven he can compete with the very best, but the missing piece has been consistency from the supporting cast. This offseason, the Bills made a clear commitment to surrounding Allen with the weapons he needs. James Cook, the dynamic running back, is expected to take a leap forward in 2025. Buffalo hopes Cook can become for Allen what Terrell Davis was for Elway, a true difference maker who takes pressure off the quarterback and forces defenses to respect the run. Combined with one of the NFL's best pass-blocking offensive lines, Cook's development could transform the Bills' offense into something nearly unstoppable. At wide receiver, Allen has built chemistry with a young and promising group that includes Keon Coleman, Josh Palmer, and Khalil Shakir. While none of them has the resume of a superstar, they collectively form a unit that thrives on timing, trust, and versatility. For the Bills to finally break through, these receivers must elevate their game, turning Allen's highlight reel throws into consistent production. There is no denying that Josh Allen may already be the greatest quarterback in Bills history. His statistics are eye-popping, his leadership unquestioned, and his ability to dominate in both the regular season and playoffs is undeniable. Yet, in the NFL, greatness is ultimately measured by championships. Until Allen delivers a Super Bowl victory, there will always be a sense of unfinished business. The 2025 season represents a golden opportunity. The Bills are not just trying to prove they belong in the playoffs, that much is already established. They must now demonstrate that they are the best team in the AFC, capable of taking down the Chiefs, Bengals, Ravens, and every other contender that stands in their way. For Allen, that means not only putting up numbers but leading the team through adversity, handling the pressure of expectations, and finding ways to win against the league's elite. Buffalo has been one of the most consistent franchises in the NFL during the Allen era, making the postseason year after year. But consistency without championships is not the legacy this team wants. The pressure is immense, and the weight of history looms large. For the Bills, every regular season game, every playoff battle, and every key moment in 2025 will be viewed through the lens of one question: is this the year they finally win it all? For decades, Buffalo has lived with the reputation of being so close, yet so far. The 2025 season offers them a chance to flip that narrative. If Josh Allen can rise to the moment and his teammates deliver when it matters most, the Bills could finally bring a Lombardi Trophy to Western New York. The time for proving they belong is over. Now, it's about proving they are the best. Starting next week, the journey begins, and the Bills will either live up to the expectations or once again face the crushing disappointment that has haunted this franchise for far too long.